Hey guys, welcome to the Firearm Patriot channel. Today I'm out on the range taking a look at the Steyr Arms M9A1 duty combat pistol, and it may be one of the most underrated hidden pistols out there. This thing has a fabulous trigger on it. In fact, it may be one of the best combat triggers I have ever pulled, including some of the all-metal combat pistol triggers, which are usually very, very good. So let's go ahead and take it over to the bench and talk about it a little bit. Okay guys, let's take a little closer look at this Steyr Arms M9A1 pistol. Now, Steyr does nothing to advertise the pistol, and I think it's one of the best shooting pistols out there. I really want to thank my friend Larry for allowing me to borrow his gun to review it. He also has one in a .40 Smith & Wesson. This one's chambered for the 9mm. It's a striker-fired polymer gun based on the John Browning modified lock breech system, and it just works very well. You know, Steyr's been around a long time, almost as long as Beretta. They're the other gun company that's in Austria, and I think Glock could learn a few things from this particular firearm. It is very fun to shoot. I love shooting it, and it just performs very well, and I think it's worthy of consideration if you're looking for a duty combat pistol. Now let's talk a little bit about the specifics. Suggested retail price on this firearm is $575. I can find it at Bud's for around $473 for this particular model. This one is the full-size model. They do make one with a longer barrel designated as the L model, and they also make a compact version designated as the C model. But this here is the full-size military version, and you know, again, just been very impressed with it. You do get two 17-round magazines with it. I'm not sure who makes them. They're all metal as far as the body of them. They have a polymer base plate, and that's an extended base plate to give you the 2 additional rounds. You can see witness holes, but they only go to 15, but it'll actually hold 17 rounds. You also have a polymer follower. Now, it was very easy to load these magazines. Some double stack magazines can be very difficult to load, and you really need a magazine loader to do that, but you don't really need that with this particular magazine. It locked the slide back every time. Really saw no malfunctions whatsoever with the magazine. They just appear to be a very good quality magazine. I do want to go ahead and kind of show you the cutout here. You have a cutout on the grip here for that magazine to fit in. Now, I had no problems inserting that magazine without it pinching the bottom of my hand. That can be a problem with some, but no issues here. Now, if you had the compact version, that might be a different situation. So overall, I thought the magazines were very well done and no issues with those magazines. Let's talk a little bit about the size of the gun. You know, it's going to be the size of about a Glock 19 or any other kind of duty pistol, M&P or a Beretta APX. So size-wise, it's about the same. It's 6.9 inches in length, 5.3 inches in height. The thickness of the gun, I measured at the widest points about a 1.25 inches in thickness. So, you know, pretty much standard what you're going to get. Weight-wise, it weighed in on my scale at 26.9 ounces. So about an ounce heavier than the Glock 17 and about an ounce lighter than the Beretta APX, which comes in at 27.9 ounces. So, you know, right in the ballpark, not any real issue in relationship to that. It does have a 4-inch barrel. Some of those other pistols will have a 4¼ inch barrel on it, but it didn't seem to bother the shooting on it any. The grip is rather unique on this gun. It's a little bit different, and we're going to go ahead and integrate again some range footage in this review so you can kind of see what I'm talking about in relationship to some of the things that I'm saying. But the grip, you know, it's kind of a Glock angle. It comes up here, you got a back strap that's serrated back here. Now it comes up very high, and you have a long beaver tail right there, and you can really get high up on this gun and have a really good grip. It also has finger grooves right here. They did not bother me. It's just really 2 of them. You've got serrations in the front, and there is some stippling on the sides, but it's rather smooth, and the owner here has put some traction tape on there, and I think that was probably a wise decision. But I thought it's just a very natural pointing firearm. So I'm going to go ahead and run some footage of me shooting it. also want to talk a little bit about how low this slide is on top of the firearm. As you can see, you have a very low profile slide. It's very close to the frame, very low bore axis, and that was one of the reasons why it was so easy to control in the footage that you saw. And I think that's really important as you get to the 40 Smith & Wesson caliber, not so much with the 9mm. But they've really done a good job. The only negative I would think about it maybe is there's not as much real estate on the slide serrations, although they work very well and I had no issues with them. They are quite a bit lower than most other guns. I have the Beretta APX here just to kind of give you an idea of what we're talking about. If you measure the Beretta's slide height, you're looking at 0.79. If you go to the Steyr, .69, so 1/10 of an inch shorter or lower, and that really helps, I think, in controlling muzzle flip on the firearm. So we'll go ahead and put the Beretta back down there, but I really think they did a good job on the slides. It's a low bore axis and it's very appreciative, particularly when you're going to be shooting the 40 Smith & Wesson. I thought they did a really good job on the magazine button. It is serrated, it's kind of long, doesn't get in the way. There was no unintentional activation of it. The magazine drops every time that you push it. No issues there, it's easy to get to. And just very well designed. You also have these cutouts for your thumb to lay, and it makes it a little bit easier to get to that magazine stop as well. If you look at the slide stop, it is kind of outward turned, it's serrated, and you have a bump right here on the frame to make sure you don't accidentally hit that thing and cause the slide not to lock back on the last round. So they put some thought into this. Trigger guard's a little small. It is serrated at the front, but I thought it would be nice to make that maybe square it off a little bit bigger. So if you've got a glove hand that you have to use, it would make it pretty easy for you to get to. You have a Picatinny rail, much like a Glock. It's not the standard Picatinny rail, but there's plenty of accessories out there for that. Any Glock accessory should fit on there. Now, I was somewhat worried about whether or not you'd be able to find holsters for this gun because it's not the most popular gun. I will be honest with you, I had no issues finding all kinds of holsters online. Probably one of the best things about this gun is the trigger, and it is an extremely accurate trigger in my opinion. It comes in at 5.5 pounds according to the manufacturer, but that's not what I found. I found it's much less than that. Let's go ahead and take the trigger gauge and show you where we're at on that. Take that magazine out. We are dealing with an unloaded gun here too, just make sure you know that. But let's go ahead and get I'll do 3 trigger pulls, but it's one of the best combat triggers I've ever pulled. Very nice. Put it right in the center. That's 4 pounds, 5 ounces. £4 pounds, 6 ounces. £3 pounds, 5 ounces. So average 4 pounds. I got a lot of pulls just a little bit lower than that, more around the 3 pounds, 10 ounces. Sometimes it's hard to get the exact number without putting it in a vise and having a stationary trigger gauge. But you know, I think the 4 pounds is a good representation of this firearm. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about the trigger. It's got a 0.45 inch pull. You've got your safety blade, and this is a polymer trigger, and you have a rather large safety blade in there, but it's very flat. It goes all the way up against the trigger, and it's a wide trigger, so it feels really good. But there's your take up. Very crisp, very clean break. Reset. There's your reset. Very short. The only thing I would say about the reset, it's not very loud. It's kind of hard to feel, but you get used to it after a while. But very good trigger. And I will show you, we'll go ahead and run some range footage of me shooting it at 21 feet at a target. Now I also want to keep in mind that the target I'm shooting at, the orange area in the center, is 1 3/4 wide and 2.5 inches tall. So just gives you an idea. So let's go ahead and run that footage. 10 rounds. Go ahead and put 10 more in it. Okay, the gun, it has no magazine disconnect safety. It has no manual safety. It does have built-in safeties, and we'll take this thing down real quick just to kind of show you how that process works. It is a little different. You have a button here that you have to push and lower this lever down to the 6 o'clock position. So let's go ahead, open it up again. We'll show you. It's nothing in it at all. Nothing in there. So you go ahead and release the slide, pull the trigger, and then you go ahead and you push this button down and rotate the lever to the 6 o'clock position, and it's going to come right off. Now you have pretty much standard slide and barrel, nothing of interest in my opinion that you don't see on any other striker fired pistol. It does have a polymer guide rod and a single recoil spring, flat spring in there, and it works very well just like the Glock Gen 3s have. And you take your barrel out, seems to be a very high quality barrel. I put about 300 rounds through it. The owner I think has about 50, so about 350 rounds, and there don't really seem to be any kind of signs of wear, even much on the hood of the barrel. You do have a cutout here. That's just a witness hole to let you know it's loaded, but it doesn't have anything that protrudes out or anything. Of course, it's striker fired. Now you normally see a safety block in here on the slide. You don't have that. You have it built into the trigger group here, and this comes out. You can take the takedown lever out, pull it out, and this comes back. You can see there's slots cut out in the back here, and that will pull out. So very easy to work on. You have some very good thick rails for your slide to run on. Looks very well built. There's your ejector and the extractor. You have in this particular case a very, very large extractor too. So it's going to go back together just like any other striker fired pistol would. I'm not sure what kind of finish is on the slide. I'm just going to pull that back, lock it back in place. It automatically goes up most of the time. If not, you can just push it up. Now this does also have a tool that comes with it. It's got 2 little holes in there. You can push it and turn it counterclockwise and lock it up so no one can use it as well. Just wanted to point that out to you. But again, the slide, I think it's like parkerized. I'm not sure what the finish is on it. I couldn't find any information on it. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about on the gun are the sights. It has some of the most unique sights that you're going to find on any pistol of any type. Now they're triangular sights, and really a very unique sight. And I thought, to be honest with you, at the beginning it was just kind of a gimmick, and I found out different. It really works well. Let's go ahead and just show them to you here. You've got these 2 bars that angle up, and you've got a big white pyramid in the front. Very easy to see, very easy to line up, and you make that pyramid right on your target, and that's where the bullet goes. I'm older, and so I appreciate the sights that are easy to allow me to find my target and acquire that target quickly, and they do a really good job. As combat sights, they could use a little higher ledge here. It is a little bit difficult to manipulate the gun one-handed. with the sights off your shoe or your belt or something of that nature. But overall, very impressed with these sights, and they do a great job. Just want to go ahead and mention a couple of issues that I had with the gun, just so you know. When I first started shooting the gun, I was using PPU NATO 124 grain full metal jacket, and I did have a couple of light primer strikes. Now, I hadn't had any other light primer strikes with any of the other firearms that I shoot that with. But that NATO rounds can be kind of hard primers, so I went ahead and switched to Arms Core 115 grain for the next 250 rounds and didn't have any kind of issues at all with light primer strikes. I did have some ejections that would come back on me periodically. Not real frequent, but just enough I wanted to note that. Didn't affect the performance of the gun in any way. But as far as being able to shoot this gun, it's one of the most naturally pointing, best trigger, best sights of any combat pistol that I have seen. So I think it's worthy of consideration. I want to go ahead here in just a second and run some range footage of me shooting it out 25 yards at a IPSC steel 2/3 target. I don't have a lot of rounds through it, so to be able to hit that target on a frequent basis is not bad. And I thought that I was shooting a little bit to the right, but the group that I was hitting on the steel target was pretty tight for 25 yards. So overall, it's just an impressive firearm. I think if you're looking for a combat gun, it's one you should consider. And we're going to run this film, but with that being said, this is the Firearm Patriot. God bless America. Okay guys, I'm out 25 yards now with this Steyr Arms M9A1 pistol. So we're going to go ahead and zoom in just a little bit so you can see the target. We're going to take 10 shots at it and see if I can hit that 2/3 IPSC target out there.